In this video, we're going to take a look at a red shimmering ink by Diamine Brandy Dazzle. As always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. It really does help me out. Also, down in the description, you're going to find a link to the red ink playlist, so if you want to see more reds, you can find those there. I'm an ink guy, and let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. As has been the case, and I'll demonstrate why again in case it's your first time, I have to hold this at an angle so that we can actually see what's going on. And in the shimmering inks, I talk about its performance as an in general here. We have no feather spread, halo sheen. They do very well. 7 seconds to dry for the extra fine, 13 seconds to dry for the medium. The smear you could recover if you did smear. I think this is very interesting, the gold on red. Two warm tones together, very well put together as far as what was chosen. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then a Fountain Pen Revolution Himalaya with their flex nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. No bleeding, no ghosting. Once again, we still just deal with that. It's a lot, but at other angles you really do get the red, which is not too bad. Our general performance is no feather spread, halo sheen. There are spots of shading that we do see go on here, like the K in quick, the N in brown, the looks much darker. But when the shimmer comes through, you really lose all of it. Like on the extra fine, the K in quick and the B in brown look darker. But when I turn, and now they're going to make a liar out of me, it just becomes gold. It just becomes gold. The extra fine took 12 seconds to dry, the medium took 19, and the smear test, there's no recovering if you smear while you're writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down, and then it's put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see the gold line that was put down because the shimmer's not moving. The red pushes its way up, and I was really surprised to see that yellow line at the top. I wasn't expecting it, which is the reason that I think this ink does shade a little bit in its writing when you can see it. Now the one on the right is let dry for 10 minutes before it's put in the water, and you see the line at the bottom where it was put down is starting to bond. It's starting to show the idea that it might be a little bit resistant, although normally Diamine tells you ahead of time. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. Our general performance is no feather spread, halo sheen. There are some shade spots that come through when you're not just getting the glitter. The K in quick, both of them. The B's in brown, both of them. This over goes lighter to darker. This the is very dark. This lazy goes dark to light. The extra fine dried in 8 seconds. The medium dried in 15 seconds. The scrubbies for both do show some color variation. We do get it when we're not just getting sparkle. And the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. So that's good. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. This smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, that capital H has quite a bit of blowout, which I'm not really surprised by, but I'm not sure about highlighting over glitter inks anyway. When you see this picture up, you do see how difficult it is to take pictures of, which lets you have an idea of dealing with it, especially if you're writing outside. Water is completely reactivating and lifting. You're starting to see some of the white of the paper coming through, and that's because it only took water to get it out of my pen. Pen flush does everything that water does and nothing more, and the 1/3 bleach solution kills it. But you don't need that. The next writing sample is done on original Crown Mill paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. And being a bit more absorbent, we can actually see a lot of it. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen. We do see some spots of shading, like Brandy starts a little darker, gets a little lighter, a little darker again. The extra fine is a little bit lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, some good shade. Brown starts dark and gets light. Fox goes from dark to light to dark. Lazy goes dark to light, over light to dark, 6 seconds to dry. Medium is the darkest tone on the page with no feather spread, halo sheen, some very nice shading as the goes light to dark. Brown goes dark to light to dark. Fox goes light to dark, 11 seconds to dry. Not a lot on the shimmer coming through here. And again, it's a more absorbent paper. The scrubby for both do show some color variation. We do get it in the writing, and the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, and the realm of normal was 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine's Brandy Dazzle has a viscosity of 1.61, making it a wetter ink, which it would need to be to move all of that shimmer. If you're interested in how the viscosity tests are done and all of that stuff, there's a link to that video down in the description. Up next is Apica CD notebooks. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, here talking about them in general again because we do get the shimmer on this paper. We have no feather spread, halo sheen. We do see shading that occurs, like quick goes darker to lighter to darker, brown goes darker to lighter, brown goes darker to lighter, fox goes lighter to darker. The extra fine took 6 seconds to dry, the medium took 10. The scrubbies show that there's color variation, and we do get it in the writing, and the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, and the realm of normal was 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine's Brandy Dazzle had an average dry time of 12 seconds, meaning it dries a little bit faster than normal. The last writing sample is done on Franklin Christoph paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. It's a little bit more absorbent, so we can have it down and actually be able to see it. And the 1.1 has no feather spread. Halo sheen, it does offer some shading. Dazzle goes lighter to darker. Diamine goes lighter to darker. Extra fine is about the same tone as the stub with no feather spread. Halo sheen shades very nicely as the goes light to dark. Brown goes dark to light. Quick is a very dark word. 6 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, decent shading, quick going dark to light to dark, brown going dark to light to dark, the very dark, over even darker than the, 10 seconds to dry. Now the scrubby for both aren't showing a lot of color variation, although it comes through very nicely in the writing when the shimmer is not covering it up. And the smear test you could definitely recover if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Brandy Dazzle, I'd prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I decided to go with a blue ink by Caran, their Idyllic Blue. Now, if you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description you'll find links to those different color playlists. So what do I think of Diamine's Brandy Dazzle? This is the only ink named for a stripper. She's just dancing to pay her way through college. A nursing student. Let's welcome to the stage, Brandy Dazzle. It's hard to write and not laugh at the same time, honestly. The glitter, I'll stop. Well performing, though. The glitter doesn't overpower the ink. Honestly, while I was writing this, I was just laughing my butt off. So what nib and pen are going to give the best writing experience with this ink? Well, I'd have to say I like her broad and wet. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video we're going to take a look at KWZ's Green number 3.